Be cool, be kind, be classy. The cupcakes so sweet and sexy. Have fun and enjoy the journey. Or just have a good attorney. No big whoop, no biggie. She lives near New York City. And not just a YouTube show. When you know, you better grab a straw. Learn about the law. It's cool here in the shade. Sipping motions and lemonade. Cool heads will prevail, kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Oh, Melanie Little is going live. Oh no, where is Melanie? Follow the island's melody. Is a concert within reach. No surprise, she's at Jones Beach. She heard some music far away. Captain Jack Sack Harbor Bay. He sings and his piano plays. Not all sounds are waterways. Speaking Yiddish or Latin, it's not just for Manhattan. It's for Goethe and Meshegas. Ridiculous the insanus. Oy vey, Marcus. Prosecution, that's for schmucks. Be cool, be kind, be classy. My cupcakes sweet and sassy. And not just a YouTube show. When you know. Cool heads will prevail. Kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Melanie Little is going live.
Hello, my friends. Hello. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Today is Monday, January 13th, and some people just could not wait to share the news with you. They just could not wait for me to get on. They had to put it in the chat. And I know so many of you hate spoilers, so I apologize on behalf of people who just couldn't not spoil it for you. But if you didn't see it, I tried to delete some of them. So anyway, some people like to watch the replay and they like to for me to not put the decision in the title because they like to be surprised. So in a shocking surprise, we have a decision within less than 1 week from Dr. Russell's second Daubert hearing. So that's the biggest surprise of all, I think, in my opinion. So we'll wait a couple of seconds for people to come in. As you know, there were 2 Daubert hearings held for Dr. Marie Russell, who is I don't know if she's triple board certified, double board certified doctor, medical doctor with over 30 years experience. Oh, good. You don't know? All right, good. Thank you. Thank you for loving my song. Thank you so much. Thank you for waiting. No cheaters. No cheaters. 2 Daubert hearings were held. The last one was held last Tuesday. And we have a written decision from Judge Cannone already today. Here it is. Here we go. We're going to read it together. That's the biggest shock of all, I think, was the fact that it happened so quickly. Dun, dun, dun. In the Commonwealth of Massachusetts versus Karen Reed, we have the memorandum of decision and order on the Commonwealth's motion to exclude the testimony of Dr. Marie Russell. Before the court is the Commonwealth's motion to exclude the proposed expert testimony of Dr. Marie Russell. Dr. Russell intends to testify as to whether the abrasions on John O'Keefe's right arm were caused by a dog. The Commonwealth contends that the defendant has failed to show that her testimony meets the requirements set forth in Daubert-Lanigan. The court conducted a Daubert-Lanigan hearing on December 12th, 2024 and January 7th of 2025. Although a close question, the court will deny the Commonwealth's motion. Yay! A win for the defense, my friends, a win. Yes, I know a lot of, right, a close question. That's the thing that got me too, right? Kristen's that, although it's not a close question. She's highly qualified, in my opinion. I had said to you many times, there would be no legal basis to deny her as an expert, but we'll get into the discussion of it and we'll see why we think that Judge Cannone thinks it was a close question. So many of you, I know, thought that this motion was going to be granted and that Dr. Russell was not going to be allowed to testify. And I was of the opinion that she had no legal basis to exclude her. But as we have seen so many motions that so many decisions and orders in this case that have strained credulity, it would have not been out of the realm of possibility that it could have been granted. But in the judge's opinion, in the first paragraph, she had to stick in there that it was a close question. Let's read further to see why. Discussion. Before a witness can provide expert testimony, the court, as the gatekeeper, there it is, the gatekeeper, must make a preliminary determination that the testimony has satisfied the requirements for admissibility. See Commonwealth v. Hines. Expert testimony is admissible when the testimony concerns matters beyond the common knowledge of the jurors and will aid the jurors in reaching a decision. Expert testimony is inadmissible, however, when the witness testifies to matters beyond her area of expertise. And they are citing the Rintala case, which we've been over several times. That is the case where the Commonwealth had an expert with regard to the time it took paint to dry, and the person that they had testifying as an expert had run some experiments in his basement about paint drying. It's completely not on point with this case, in my opinion, but in any event, that's the Rintala case. The determination of admissibility is within the court's discretion. See Commonwealth v. Robinson. However, before the court may exercise its discretion to admit expert testimony, the party seeking to offer the testimony, here the defendant, must establish 5 foundational elements. 1, that the expert testimony will assist the trier of fact because the information is beyond the common knowledge of jurors. 2, that the witness is qualified as an expert in the relevant area of inquiry. 3, that the expert's opinion is based on facts or data of a type reasonably relied on by experts to form opinions in the relevant field. 4, that the theory underlying the opinion is reliable. And 5, that the theory is applied to the particular facts of the case in a reliable manner. Citing a case called Commonwealth v. Polk. Here, the recognition of dog bite wounds is not within the common knowledge of a layperson and requires expert testimony. And Dr. Russell is a qualified expert as to these topics. I'm going to read it again a little bit louder for all those people with Twitter law degrees who seem to think that Dr. Russell was not qualified to opine on the dog bite injuries to John O'Keefe's right arm. Dr. Russell is a qualified expert as to these topics, meaning the topics of recognition of dog bite wounds. She's a board-certified emergency medical doctor with over 30 years of experience, is trained in forensic pathology, and has conducted over 500 autopsies. With respect to dog bites specifically, Dr. Russell has treated hundreds of wounds resulting from dog attacks during her time as an emergency room doctor and co-authored peer-reviewed articles on the treatment of law enforcement canine bites in the emergency room. Lastly, in forming her opinion in this case, Dr. Russell conducted a differential diagnosis based on the pattern of the victim's wounds and their characteristics, and supported her theory with references to peer-reviewed publications. Use of differential diagnosis is a standard scientific technique of identifying the cause of a medical problem, citing a Massachusetts case called Case of Hicks from 2005. Accordingly, the court finds that Dr. Russell's testimony satisfies the 5 foundational elements and therefore will allow Dr. Russell to testify as to whether the abrasions on John O'Keefe's right arm were caused by a dog. I'm going to read that again. Accordingly, the court finds that Dr. Russell's testimony satisfies the 5 foundational elements and therefore will allow Dr. Russell to testify as to whether the abrasions on John O'Keefe's right arm were caused by a dog. In so ruling, the court recognizes that On cross-examination, the Commonwealth demonstrated, among other things, that Dr. Russell's expertise primarily concerns the treatment, not the identification of dog bites, that her evaluation of the abrasions failed to consider all available information, that she has not compared the abrasions with the dentition of the German Shepherd in question. Hold on. We'll come back to that. Put a pin in that. And that her opinion is inconsistent with findings that there was no canine DNA. And that her opinion is inconsistent with findings that there was no canine DNA in the area of the victim's clothing near the abrasions. However, the court concludes that these issues go to the weight of Dr. Russell's testimony, not its admissibility, and can be addressed during cross-examination at trial. See the case of Hines. In evaluating admissibility, a judge does not determine whether to credit the expert's ultimate opinion. Order. For the foregoing reasons, the Commonwealth's motion to exclude the testimony of Dr. Marie Russell is denied. XOXO. Beverly J. Cannone, Justice of the Supreme Court, dated January 13th of 2025. Well, this just changed the whole case. Well, I mean, here's the thing, Miss B. Did anybody really think she was going to overrule herself, having already admitted her to be able to testify as an expert in trial number 1? Like, that would have been just whack if she all of a sudden decided she was wrong the first time. And now Dr. Russell can't testify because she's not qualified. Because if there's one thing that we know about Justice Cannone, is she does not like to admit that she was wrong. She doesn't want to recuse herself. She doesn't want to admit that she was wrong. And there's nothing that says here that her opinion needed to be peer reviewed before she could testify to it. That was perhaps the craziest thing. It's Chinatown, Jake. It is Chinatown. You never know. It's Chinatown. Thank you, Peaches. And unlimited shock and horror for becoming members. And Jadzia for your super sticker. Happy Rubber Ducky Day, everyone. Thank you, Mrs. Bucket, for your super sticker. True Crime Junkie, the OG, has been around for 11 months and is ready for the next 11 months. We're here. We're in it. We are here for it. Melissa, thanks for tuning in from down under. Says notification came up right as I was about to go to bed. Guess I'm staying up now. Aha. Well, it's not going to be that much of a long one because defense wins. Defense wins the motion. Dr. Russell is going to be able to testify. And listen, chatters, I know you got, has the prosecution, has the Commonwealth exchanged a medical expert who is going to refute Dr. Russell's opinion and come in to say that they are not dog bites? Have they exchanged a medical doctor? Thanks again, Melissa, for your super chat. Don't think they have. I think they've exchanged Dr. James Crosby, who's a behaviorist, a dog behaviorist. I do not believe he's a medical doctor. And so there is that. We had to sit through 2 full days a Daubert hearing. In over 30 years of practice, I have never seen a Daubert hearing that goes on for 2 days. Typically, it can be done in a couple of hours tops. Exactly. How much did that cost, Karen? Here's Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Hoping to have to sit through this again for the ARCA experts. Well, they've served a notice that they may at some time in the future serve a motion for a Daubert hearing for the crash daddies, but they haven't done it yet, as far as I know, unless it hit the docket this morning. And this must have hit the docket I had to get home as soon as possible to do this for you. And I got here as soon as I could. I knew, and a lot of you were waiting, but I don't think anything else was filed yet today. Let me just double check here because you never know. Shocking that it took less than a week for this decision to be rendered. But there was really no legal basis for her to exclude Dr. Russell, except for she's the gatekeeper. Nope, that is the only thing so far filed today. So we'll see. What has taken the SJC so long now? That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know. So there's something else here that I want to reinforce. It's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, if you have any questions, let me know. But that's it. She's coming in. She's coming in. And it's going to be up to the Commonwealth to find an expert witness, a medical expert witness that is going to controvert her testimony. It doesn't address whether she can opine on the car accident and whether those injuries are related to the Commonwealth. Whether the injuries are related to a motor vehicle accident. It's not addressing that. It is simply addressing whether Dr. Russell can testify as to whether the abrasions on John O'Keefe's right arm were caused by a dog. Let's talk about the dentition. Remember Lally arguing that forensic odontology was a junk science? Do you think Hank Brennan is going to reverse that and now come in with, hey, we've got a mold of Chloe's teeth. We're going to call a forensic odontologist to come in and say that these bites could not have been caused by Chloe. Like, why are they fighting? Why are they fighting it if they don't believe it had to do with a dog at all? Right? I'm not seeing any restrictions yet. Who knows what'll happen before trial? But as of right now, although it's a close question, according to the judge, Dr. Russell is going to be allowed to testify. Misty Russell, thanks for hanging out with me for a month. Alessi is amazing. He was for sure a maestro going against Hank. I'm looking forward to see more going forward. Same. On top, thank you for your super sticker. Linda, thank you for your super sticker. Thank you, Robin. Can Dr. Russell testify in all her areas of expertise, or is she limited to dog bites? As of right now, it sounds like she's limited to dog bites. However, perhaps that could be expanded with a motion in limine before trial. They already have 2 full days of testimony from Dr. Russell, in addition to the voir dire they did of her during the first trial outside the presence of the jury, and however many hours she testified during the first trial. So it is clear to me, at least, that she has expertise in other areas because she has also examined so many patients, not only patients, but done autopsies of pedestrians who were hit and killed by cars. So could her testimony be expanded at the time of trial? It could. But the purpose of this Daubert hearing was, the Commonwealth's assertion that she was not qualified to testify with regard to the cause of those injuries being caused by a dog. Ed World says, can they prove it's Chloe's mold? Could be any dog. Well, according to what he said during, what Brennan told everyone in open court, and Dr. Russell, don't you know that we invited you and the defense to come with us to visit Chloe, to get the mold of Chloe? So I don't have any, inside information or any independent information that I can confirm or deny whether they even went to see Chloe, whether that actually was Chloe, how they found Chloe, whether they really did a mold of Chloe. But it is my opinion that forensic odontology is considered usually a junk science in most jurisdictions, and it would not be admissible anyway. So even if they do have a mold of Zoe's dentition or her teeth, it has now been almost 3 years exactly, actually. We're coming up on January 29th, which is the 3-year anniversary of Officer John O'Keefe's murder. May he rest in peace. And as everyone knows, dog years are a lot different than human years. What do they say? It's like 7 years human for every dog year. I don't really know. But we do know that dogs' teeth, as they age, shift. They lose teeth. Somebody joked in another live stream that they've had Chloe's had Invisalign the whole time. So it's not going to be, her mouth will likely not be in the same condition now that it was then, in my opinion. And so that is that. I can't believe she called it a close question either. Thank you, Maloney's Law. I know. And I guess you're an attorney as well. Yeah, this was just a crazy, crazy thing. It was a crazy position, I thought, that they took from the beginning. I think that Hank Brennan's demeanor in court and the way that he treated Dr. Brennan, if he's going to perform that way in front of a jury, I think it may turn off a jury. Let me know if it turned you off. That's my opinion. A lot of people feel that way about Alan Jackson. I don't. I love Alan Jackson. So I mean, I guess it depends on from where you sit, whether you think that Brennan's style and demeanor, questioning a woman, doctor, expert witness, highly qualified, like Dr. Marie Russell, was a little aggressive or offensive or in poor taste. But that's a question, every juror is different. Thank you, Justin, for your cash app. Appreciate you so much. What say you? R.I.P. John O'Keefe. R.I.P. They do lose teeth. That is correct. Thank you, my Hannah. Jen's like, lawyers everywhere sending shade to Brennan. I know. Thanks, Jen. Daisy Chewy and me. It's awful that Karen had to deal with this for 3 years. Yeah, 3 years and continuing. As of right now, the trial is scheduled to commence on April Fool's Day, but it's kind of ironic, isn't it? Or fitting, maybe. But who knows what's going to happen if the SJC doesn't make their decision soon. The trial could be pushed. Thank you so much, Debbie, for your Venmo. I appreciate you for thanking me. Yeah, shift, break. I mean, look, it seems clear what the Commonwealth new strategy is going to be. The new strategy is going to be to knock out every expert that doesn't comport with their theory of a car accident, like 2 biomechanical engineers hired by the FBI who have determined that John O'Keefe was not hit by a car, and a car did not hit John O'Keefe because, physics and injuries. And I've said from the beginning, the injuries sustained by Officer John O'Keefe do not line up with a pedestrian versus motor vehicle accident. They just don't. I don't care if you want to call it a clip. I don't care if you want to call it a sideswipe. I don't care if you want to call it a nudge. There is no way that any portion of that vehicle, in my opinion, caused those injuries to Officer O'Keefe's right arm. They just didn't. If his elbow was struck at 24 miles an hour by a Lexus SUV, his elbow would have shattered. It's common sense. You don't need to be a medical doctor or a biomechanical engineer to figure that out. It's the gaslighting is real. The gaslighting is out there, and I'm sure many of you are subjected to it every single day. But you are not crazy for thinking that those injuries on Officer O'Keefe's right arm did not come from a motor vehicle or an exploding taillight or a taillight that shattered into bite-sized pieces that were sharp and all scratched his arm all at the same time. You are not crazy if you don't think that. Tracy says Hank does know he's the prosecution, right? Well, that's debatable. But like I played for the other day, Vinny on Vinny's own show. Vinny Politan has his own personal YouTube channel, and he said that this is like, what did even the name of the show was called something like prosecutorial misconduct. Like, he just thought the whole thing was so crazy. He's like, this is so crazy. You never see this. Prosecutors are supposed to be out there looking for the truth, not just looking for a conviction. Vinny Politan is very turned off by the way this is going with Hank Brennan. And I think that a lot of you realized that the other day. A lot of you said you stopped watching him because you thought that he was so anti-Karen Reed. And I'm like, no, read between the lines. Vinny's a smart guy. He's very, very confused about what's going on here as a former prosecutor. Loud mouse. Thanks for the 10. We were all thinking how absurd the Commonwealth was for calling a veterinarian. I'm wondering now if that's just a pre-plan and really hone in on Chloe's mouth mold, knowing it's junk science in reality. Who's the veterinarian? I don't think Crosby is a veterinarian. Isn't he a behaviorist? A dog behaviorist? Or is he a veterinarian? I'm not sure. Because we didn't have access to his curriculum vitae. But did we look it up? Hold on a second. James Crosby, expert. Let me find him. He's a PhD. He's a certified behavior consultant an expert witness on canine behavior and aggression issues. He's an animal handler and trainer. So he's not a veterinarian. If you can refresh my recollection about whether they exchanged another expert who was a veterinarian, I don't think they did. Thank you, Loudmouse, for your super chat. You reading the motions, Melanie, it's definitely the best. Thank you, WTF Mass. What the duck? Kyle says Dr. Russell's gasp said it all. Hank should repent. That's so funny. Somebody changed their username to Dr. Russell's gasp, and I thought that was fantastic. Thanks, Kyle. Thank you, Sherry, for your $10 super sticker. Appreciate you. Mad World, thanks for the 5. Runkle actually broke Hank down perfectly. To be honest, I hated him and do, but Runkle made it make sense as defense. Okay, I didn't watch that, but I will check it out, and I'm not sure what he said, but he's funny, and I do appreciate his opinions. Sage, thanks for the 5. It wouldn't bother me if it was during trial on a witness involved who is lying. Not a Daubert hearing with an expert witness. AJ does the first. What wouldn't bother you? His demeanor? Or, are you saying if Alan Jackson treats a witness that way during trial, if they're lying, it doesn't bother you? But it bothers you the way he treated Marie Russell, the way Brendan did? I think I'm picking up what you're laying down. Kyle, thanks. Dozens of motor pedestrian crashes. Knew it wasn't day one. Me too. Me too. Marie, thanks for the 10. Hi, I have a feeling this hearing are to taint the jury because of the things he said in the hearings and how he acted about the DNA bite impressions. Also saying she hit him was disgusting. Thank you. He said a lot of things that were not accurate. There were a lot of things that he said during those hearings that he knew were going to be on television that were facts, not in evidence. And I think a lot of people share your sentiments, Marie. Thank you so much. And thank you to Duck and Tough Tiff for coming in and being a new member. How do we know if Dr. Russell and Craig are safe from the fires? Well, I've done 2 shows on the fires so far. And the last information that we had from Nick Rocco was that everyone was safe. I haven't heard anything more recently. I would love it if you would go and watch yesterday's show that I did on the California fires because they are still burning. The winds are going to pick up. It's going to get worse. Entire neighborhoods have been decimated. And I know how much you guys like to help. And yesterday I did a whole stream on what you can do to help, from whether you're boots on the ground in LA or from here. It is a devastating, horrific situation. So please, please watch it because it's really important. Share it. More people need to know what's going on in California. It's outrageous and it's horrifying. And Yannetti is Michelle's personal favorite. So thank you. Thank you so very much. Chloe's microchip. Oh, I love when you guys change your names to match the case. They need to prove it's Chloe's. It's Chloe. They can't. Also, we need Chloe's teeth x-rays from prior to prove where the teeth are now. And a change still wouldn't be good enough to use the mold. I agree with you. I don't think it would ever be admissible in any way, shape, or form. If Chloe was microchipped, though, and wouldn't they be able to prove it is her? I don't really know. I don't really think it's even worth wasting our breath over because I don't think that it would ever be allowed in anyway. But again, we're in the upside down. We're in the twilight zone. This is the craziest trial that I've ever seen. And for many of you, it is very personal because you live there. And you see what's going on and you've seen what's going on in the Boston area, in Massachusetts for decades, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop. I saw somebody addressing Olivia, but I have to go back too far in the comments to find it. So Olivia, you know how to get a hold of me if you have something you need to tell me or want to say. Okay, says, well, this is the obvious outcome. The fact that we really had to wait for the ruling to come down to be sure Dr. Russell would be allowed to testify as an expert shows how wild this is. Yes. Yes. Agreed. Okay, Angel, I did answer that question. So right now, according to this decision, it has been decided that she is able to testify as to whether the abrasions on John O'Keefe's right arm were caused by a dog Don't know if her testimony is going to be expanded yet. It is always possible that it could be in the end as we get there. Grace Base says AJ is respectful to witnesses until they start being evasive. Links and mad things. Yeah, it's true. This is true. Shards of glass was Brennan's biggest lie, says Love Shack. I think there were quite a few. I think shards of glass. Yeah, about the shards of glass that were found in John O'Keefe's right arm. Where was that testimony? That shards of glass were found in his arm. Oh, that's right. There wasn't any. Tissue samples were never taken of his arm either. So there, let's clear up that misconception. Free Radical says another dumb strategy by the Commonwealth. Bringing in a behaviorist does nothing to address John's wounds. As first, no attack happened. As vets work on dogs, not humans, like a medical doctor. Like, yeah, right. What? And so did they take Dr. Jim Crosby with them to see Chloe to evaluate Chloe's behavior? And then he's going to come in and say, oh, she's a really nice dog. She would never attack anybody, which is interesting because there are several bite victims, and Chloe also attacked a dog so bad that somebody said it was like Chloe was trying to kill the other dog. So I can't understand what the value of this expert is. Seems like a waste of money, but hey, it's not my budget. It's not my money. People of Norfolk County, you might be shocked. You might be outraged by it. And that's that. Hi, Scott McGinnis says anti-Karen Reed peeps hate Jackson and crew because they go after all the corrupt cops and the McAlberts. Lulu Bell always loves watching. Thank you. Thank you, Lulu Bell. Melanie in the chat. Melanie Peterson. Thank you. So the beautiful Dr. Marie Russell is going to play a huge part in setting Karen free. She is. And you know what? Good on her. Good on her for reading a little headline in the Boston Globe and thinking, oh, maybe I can help. I have a lot of experience in dog bites. I don't think she tried to insert herself into this case. I think she genuinely wanted to help. And she was the first woman police officer, right? In the police department, in which she was a police officer in Massachusetts. I can't remember which one it was. Medfield, Mansfield, I can't remember. Nianetti and Jackson, corruption crushers. Thanks for the 5. Coffin Hopper posted this. Oh, you know you're not allowed to say that name on this channel. It is she who will not be named. The Commonwealth gained a trove of contradictimony testimony to use against Dr. Russell. She flip-flopped more than a fish out of water. Come on, you can't take that seriously, right? She is so dug into that position of hating on Karen Reed, and Karen Reed is a murderer, that she will never see her way out of it. She will never see her way out of it. She won't. And even when a jury acquits Karen Reed, she still won't admit it. She'll say the jury got it wrong, because some people on that side are so dug in that they just can't see any sort of common sense. Sharon, thanks for the deuce. Jackson now knows the Commonwealth's entire case on Russell and Chloe. That is true. You're saying from these hearings and from what they revealed during the hearing, that they have the mold of the teeth, allegedly. Today's National Rubber Ducky Day. Did you just make that up, little lady? Did you just make that up? Leandra, thanks for the 10. Melanie, my pops, who loved your Karen Reed coverage and had a stroke and is ensuing. Oh, he had a stroke and dementia? I'm so sorry. He forgets things but loves watching and listening to your shows. It's a highlight of his day. Thank you. Your voice calms him. Oh, thank you, Leandra's dad. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I know that he's retired law enforcement, right? He and his friends love to watch the show. I'm so sorry to hear about his health issues, but I hope that I can do something to calm him down. Thank you, Leandra. Prayers up for Leandra's dad. He's amazing from what I hear, because she was always coming in talking about him and his buddies who were watching the show with her. Bite My Bits says, Olivia Niles, something came to me. Big bad Brian Albert pulled in drive, then McCabe's big ass Denali, and Higgins' Jeep with the plow, and we know Brian Jr. got a car because frozen donuts, there is no space for, I don't know what. You didn't get to finish there. Oh yeah, John being Irish and some of those puncture marks being moles or freckles. That was pretty funny too. Agreed. I didn't watch them. I didn't watch that, Peppermint. What did y'all think about the two dog experts on Court TV closing arguments with Vinny P? They both said they couldn't conclude that these are dog bites. I didn't watch them. So I don't know what type of experts they were. Was Garrett Wing one of them? Were they dog trainers? Were they, I don't know. I didn't watch it. I can't opine. Nikki Pick 79 says the Commonwealth is running scared and trying to get the experts tossed because they know they have nothing, in my opinion. A lot of people feel that way. J.R. Cuber says, I assume this means that the defense theory of fight/dog attack in Brian Albert's basement is game on now. Game on. Doesn't have to have been in the basement either. It could have been in the backyard. Because remember, Brian Albert's testimony was that he let the dog out when he got home. What if John went back there to like take a leak or something, went in the side gate to the right of the garage and was met by the dog and then fell down and smacked the back of his head on the concrete around the pool? Because we looked at pictures of the Zillow listing of their house and it's like a concrete pool deck and it was slippery because there was a little bit of snow outside, which would have made it, slippery. The friction coefficient would have been slippery on that concrete. And he could have slipped, smashed his head on the concrete, not frozen ground, but concrete, not dirt, right? Smashed the back of his skull open. And then maybe the dog came over and tried to help him. Maybe Chloe came over and tried to help him and grabbed onto his arm and tried to pull him in for safety. Maybe that happened. And then maybe someone came out and found him and said, oh my God, we're going to get sued. We're going to get sued. We can't. And we're all hammered, maybe. So because, everyone was drinking, admittedly, they were all drinking. And maybe they were like, maybe they were drunk and they were like, oh my God. And who knows what happened next? That's a possibility too, right? That would be reasonable doubt, says Cam's Graham. Right. I'm not accusing anybody of murdering anybody. I'm just saying John O'Keefe did not get hit by a car. My explanation that I just gave you is far more reasonable than him being hit by a car at 24 miles an hour, gunning it 60 feet in reverse with injuries that don't support that. Right? Of course, right. But we have to contend for the stairs, right? Somebody said, yeah, how do you do the 3 flights of stairs? Right? So there's some stairs. Reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt, says Emma. Reasonable doubt, says Emma, right? We don't have to accuse anybody of anything. Kristen says, exactly my theory. That's why the McAlbers all feel like they can play innocent. Lisa wants to know where the glass is from. Well, I mean, what if he came in with a glass, right? And if something happened in the house, if he went down the stairs, if he had to go up the front stairs to get into the front door, because there's some stairs there, and then he went down, maybe there's a landing, maybe, I don't know if it's one flight that goes all the way down. A lot of basement stairs have like a flight and then there's a landing and then you go down another flight. And then maybe something happened down there and then he brought the glass with him. And then if somebody, like maybe it wasn't even anybody who lived at 34th Fairview, maybe it was somebody, maybe it was an intruder, came in and found him and they were like, oh, well, I'm going to put him outside with everything he came in here with. Quick, let's get the phone and let's get the glass that he came in with, put it all out there. And then we'll say the guy never went in the house. That's possible too, right? But it's possible. It's more likely to me than him being hit by a car. Right, Mihaela? Right? Vera says then he blacked both his eyes and they didn't see fit to call an ambulance. Official says that was too easy for them to get away with. They hated Karen, so let her take an unnecessary fall. They're all folks in denial. I can't speak to the truth or veracity of that, but coffee cases, all I know is it was not Karen's car. I mean, the defense could go with a number of different theories. They could give them like 5 explanations. Here's how it could. We don't know exactly how it happened, but here's what could have happened, right? John's drinking all night. He probably had to pee by the time he got there. Maybe he walked up the driveway and decided instead of going in the house, he's going to go around. There's a back gate to the right side of the garage also. Going to go there. And then Brian said Chloe was out there, right? Brian said Chloe's not good with strangers. We know Chloe had a prior bite history and a subsequent bite history on a dog, or I forget which was first, whether she bit the person first or the dog first. And then after this incident, bit 2 people and sent them to the hospital. They could toss multiple theories out there. Doesn't have to be just one theory. But if you're back there, jurors, thinking of any other way that this could have happened besides some crazy video that some mook put on Twitter to try and gaslight you about how this could have happened, that's reasonable doubt. Georgia says, every picture online of a German Shepherd attack looks exactly like John O'Keefe's arm. Worked in 30 plus years. Looks like every single dog bite wounds I've seen. I know. Every medical professional that I've spoken to, Garrett Wing, people who work in hospitals, people who even work in veterinary offices, people who work in claims, people who are claims adjusters that have handled dog bite cases. Anybody whose child has ever been bitten by a dog, anybody who's ever been attacked by someone else's dog or their own dog has sent me pictures. Please don't send me your pictures. I cannot unsee them. But people who don't know, people who don't, will try and gaslight you into thinking this had to do with a car accident. But I think that all of you, well, some of you anyway, who are listening, aside from some people on Twitter who think that I will say anything for $5, know that this was not caused by a car accident. So here you go. Here's this is just one of the gaslighting videos that somebody sent me. Okay, here you go. Tell me what you think about this, because this is the latest theory out there. Are you ready? I mean, this might, if you haven't seen this might convince you that John O'Keefe was actually hit by a car. So take a look at this. Okay, are you ready? There's no sound. You're just going to have to use your imagination. Here's how they say it happened. Like, I don't even know. So, okay, so his elbow hits the taillight. Then he whips around. He has no whiplash or broken neck, though, right? And then how does his head slam against the window of the car? Like, what is this? I don't know who did this. I don't know who made this, but the does it change your mind, friends? Does it change your mind? It is not a joke. This is posted on the cesspool of Twitter. And the post that goes along with it says, "We know what you've done, Karen. We know what you've done." Not all the, and then they, of course, they tag David Yannetti in the post. Not all the Yannettis, Aidens, all the king's horses, nor all the king's men can put data back together again. We know what you've done, Karen. And they posted that video, which is hilarious because there's no bruises. There's no bruises. He still has to fly 30 feet. The original Canton PD report said he was 8 feet from the curb. So, there's so many stories, so many different versions of how the accident happened, who was where. We don't really know where the body was because nobody took any pictures. Or if they took pictures, they lost the camera or something. Nobody took measurements. There was no chalk outline done of the body or even like little yellow evidence markers. So we don't really know. Oh, sweetie, no. Thanks for your 5. Said, okay, I checked. The University of Florida program Crosby attended is a research PhD distinct from their doctor of veterinary medicine clinical program. Yeah, he's not a vet. He's not a vet. I mean, I could tell you that just by looking at his LinkedIn. Which is, and then there was another, I think he's on some expert website. So if you'd like receipts on that, I'll give it to you. He's a certified behavior consultant, canine consultant and writer. His specialties are dog training, aggressive dog evaluation and rehabilitation, dangerous dog issue expert, fatal dog attack investigator and expert, legislative consultant on animal control and dangerous dog issues, according to his own profile. So there's that. Thank you, oh sweetie, no. The other Karen says, questions, what's going on with the investigation? And do you think the defense will call Proctor? What's going on with the investigation into the investigation? We don't know. Josh Levy is stepping down. There is a new attorney general for the District of Massachusetts who is going to be taking over. So we don't know, and we're not going to know until there's some finality or some results or somebody's a target, I guess. So Proctor is having his hearing on Wednesday, his disciplinary hearing in front of the Massachusetts State Police Trial Board. And I think, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think there are 2 dates for those hearings. I think there's one now and there's another date in February. So I'm not sure if this is going to take 2 hearings to get done or if there's going to be any finality to Proctor's punishment, if any, with regard to what's going on with him and his internal affairs investigation. Do I think the defense will call Proctor? I don't know. The prosecution may call Proctor. We'll see. I would think that they would. If the prosecution does not call Proctor, I think the defense would, just to get all that stuff in and to show how horrific and how bungled this investigation was from jump. Thanks, other Karen. Brian Miller, thanks for the 5. The head looks like it hit the weight bench in the basement. We've looked at that on Zillow too, and we've seen what's in the basement, and it looks like the exact same length as one of those weight benches. I think there were 2 weight benches in the basement. Could have been a slip and fall, but it wasn't a car accident, in my opinion. Alley Cat, I think the fight started and Chloe tried to defend her owners, not realizing who actually needed the defending, obviously. That could be too. It's another reasonable theory that causes reasonable doubt. Mary, thanks for tuning in from Canada. Compare new Chloe's DNA against the dog hair in the Albert's old carpet, which Karen Reed has in storage. Oh, great idea. That's a great idea. Thank you, Mary Montgomery, for tuning in from Canada and for your thoughts and your super chat. WTF Mass, Dr. Russell is a living legend, just like yourself, Melanie. Oh, love from Ireland. Love to Ireland. So many viewers from Ireland and Scotland and the UK. And I love you all. Deborah says polycarbonate taillights don't shatter when they come in contact with something soft. I agree. Maybe they need an expert to say that, but isn't that exactly what the Crash Daddies said? Because they built a cannon. They built a cannon to shoot a cocktail glass at it, to see even if someone threw a cocktail glass at the taillight, whether it would break, and it didn't shatter. Romy says, with these motions and hearings, the Commonwealth is attempting to further financially burden Karen because their case against her is bogus. A lot of people think that too. Which is why a lot of people feel that it's important to contribute to her defense fund because she's already $5 million in debt. Experts cost money. Responding to all of these bogus motions costs money. Hank Brennan's only working for $250 an hour, so it'll be interesting to see when, if ever, he will make an appeal to the whoever he's got to go to for more money to increase his contract or renew his contract and give him some more money because he's got to be running dry. He's got to be getting right up against that $75K with all the motions that he's filed so far. Thanks, Romy. Tracy, the defense needs to hammer home reasonable doubt. Agreed. And listen, the judge gave each of them a half an hour in closing for this 2-day Daubert hearing and only 1 hour in closing for a 9-week trial. That's insane. They need to have 2 hours at least for closing each because there are so many things that need to be tied together. My opinion. Sharon said if the Lexus did that, it would have broken bones and bruising. Yes. And there would be bumper marks to his lower body, thighs, knees, shins. There would have been something. Greg says, so where are the broken ribs, broken legs, hip, all set up for bruises? They don't exist, Greg. There's a bruise on the outside of his right hand. I think that's it. And I think maybe there was like a little scrape on his knee. A scrape. B times C says, according to that animation, his right hip and right calf would have been struck too, where are the corresponding fractures? I know. I don't know who makes these videos but they truly believe in them. Allegedly. Truly believe it. And they want you to believe it too. Kyle said it before, worked a crash and got sideswiped by an SUV at 30 miles an hour. Sported a mean bruise on my thigh for a bit. No time loss. Interesting. There you go. You had a bruise on your thigh. His Mojo Horizon, thanks for hanging out for 13 months and says, this could happen to any one of us. Free Karen Reed. Justice for John O'Keefe. See what's coming up. So there was supposed to be all right, there was supposed to be a final pretrial conference tomorrow. I'm like, why do I have this in my calendar for tomorrow? But that's been rescheduled. So the only date currently on the Karen Reed calendar upcoming so far is April 1st for trial. There's nothing else on the current docket. There will be though, because there are so many motions out there pending. For example, the notice of maybe we will file a motion to have a Daubert hearing on the ARCA experts. We don't know what's going to happen there. And didn't they also, they filed a motion for a Daubert hearing on Richard Green, and we have not seen any opposition from the defense on that yet. So there's going to be lots of things and stuff still happening on the Karen Reed case before the next trial starts for us to cover. But this is breaking news, so I wanted to jump on right away and give it to you. Thoughts, comments, questions, concerns. At 3 o'clock, I have a show scheduled to start diving into the Tuerk case. That's going to be in the same building in Norfolk County Superior Court as Karen Reed. It is supposed to start the week before the Karen Reed trial starts. It involves so many of the same players that are involved in Karen Reed: Proctor, Buchanan, Garino, DeChico, Fanning, Tully. They're all involved in the investigation of the murder of Dr. Tuerk's wife in 2020. And now the attorney, who is Kevin Reddington, who was, or maybe still be, Jennifer McCabe's attorney, is defending Dr. Tuerk. Dr. Tuerk's been in jail for 4 years, by the way, almost 5 since 2020. He's moving for a bigger buffer zone because he said, our case is supposed to be going on, our trial is supposed to be going on at the same time as Karen Reed's retrial, and we don't want our jurors to be influenced by all of the supporters outside. So it's interesting. I'm going to start talking about that today at 3 o'clock. When I hit end on this stream, it's going to teleport you over to the new stream. Dr. Tuerk allegedly confessed and then told law enforcement, Proctor and others, I forget who the lead investigator was, where the body was, in a pond near his house in Dover. And they went and they found her body in the pond. But now he's moving to exclude a whole lot of stuff. So it's going to be an interesting trial too. The most interesting thing to me so far, because it looks like he confessed and maybe he actually did it. There's a motion that's recently been filed where he's claiming self-defense, because he's saying that his wife hit him with a glass and that she had filed a bunch of bogus DV charges against him, and that she was seeing other men and she was on dating apps. And it's kind of interesting. So we're gonna do that at 3 o'clock today, which is only a little more than a half an hour from now. How did he fly 30 feet and lose a shoe? How does the taillight cut up his entire arm? Well, a lot of people have said that when you're attacked by a dog, you can also lose a shoe. So that's interesting. Yeah, not that, Susan. Please ignore the body in the pond, right? And the fact that he put 16 pounds of rocks in her yoga pants for her to sink. And he was found non-responsive in a hotel room, and they had to use Narcan to wake him up. It's very interesting. He was a renowned surgeon, robotic surgeon. I think he was also like an Olympian of some kind. And right before the murder or the alleged murder, he had been brought up on some charges of fraudulent billing and he took a plea in 2019. It's really interesting. Really interesting. So if you're interested in what else is happening in Norfolk Superior, you might want to come and join me. Hit the like button, everyone. It's a kind thing to do. Even if you're hate watching, there's over 4,775 of you in here. And what I would love is I'm really trying to break 75,000 subs. It's free. Just hit that little subscriber button below. It's free. And you will help me in my quest to hit 75K. I don't know how many we are away. Let me check. And also in my personal quest to beat Vinny Politan in subscribers on his personal YouTube channel. It's a competition that he knows nothing about. It's just for my own personal satisfaction. And that would be so kind of you, because you guys are all, most of you anyway, so kind and generous as always. We're right now at 74,294. So we're what, 706 subs away from 75,000. Who's going to help a girl out today? Look at me. I got right on here, did this with you. No notice, hardly. Even a half an hour was too much for some of you who were waiting in the chat. You couldn't even wait 30 minutes. Rosemary said she never drove back in reverse going 24 miles an hour. It's a bunch of made up bullcrap made up by state police. Well, they seemed to think that the whatever data that they were getting from the chip on was going to prove this theory and the key cycles and all that. I think the key cycles are something also that needs to be more fully explained to the jury, because there's been a lot of attempted debunking of that theory on the cesspool of Twitter and other places, and a lot of people far more intelligent than I am with regard to telematics and forensics and key cycling, proving that that key cycle in particular could not have been done by Karen Reed. Oh, look at you guys. We're at 74,305. We're getting there. We're getting there. Carol says, wow, can't wait for your breakdown of the Tuerk case. Thanks, Melanie. Sure, I'm here for it. And I want to get going on that because that trial is scheduled to start on March. Let me tell you the exact date. March 25th, 1 week before Karen Reed's trial. And have all the documents. And there's a lot to go through. It's not, we're not going to be able to do it all in one day. But the most recent, give you a little spoiler. Some of the most recent motions that have been filed by Kevin Reddington, the defense attorney, on behalf of his good doctor client, have to do with Proctor's messages and things like that. I'm just going to show you a little teaser. Let me just see if I can find it real quick. Thank you, Joseph, for gifting a membership. You're always very kind and generous to this channel. Gifting 2 memberships. Thank you, Joseph. And to the 2 lucky recipients who are randomly gifted by YouTube, welcome. I think you're going to like it here. I'm going to pull up the receipt on this because if I just say it, people won't necessarily believe me. So there is, hold on, it's in a recent notice of discovery. Talk amongst yourselves for a second, because this is very interesting and it also has to do with, in my opinion, the Karen Reed case. So hang on. I found it. No, I have way too many tabs open. Always. All right, let's see when this was turned over. Check this out, my friends. This might blow you away. This is in Tuerk, okay? This is the Commonwealth's Notice of Discovery, number 7. This was filed October 28th of 2024. Look at number 2. A 26-page chain of custody report for Trooper Michael Proctor's work phone. Do you mean to tell me that the MSP does chain of custody reports for anything, let alone Michael Proctor's work phone? What the duck? Has anyone ever seen in the Karen Reed case anything ever entitled a chain of custody report? Has anybody ever seen one? in the Karen Reed case? Because I haven't. No, I haven't seen it either. So you're not crazy. I'm crazy. We're all crazy. We're all living in it together. Because in Tuerk, that's what they did, was they turned over, in addition to Michael Proctor's work phone or the text messages or whatever, a chain of custody report that is 26 pages long for Trooper Michael Proctor's work phone. Now, I wonder, did they turn over that same chain of custody report for Trooper Michael Proctor's work phone in the Karen Reed case? Because I don't think they did. Did they? Olivia? Anybody else who knows the documents like the back of the hand the way that I do? Did they ever turn over a chain of custody report that is 26 pages long from Michael Proctor's work phone to the defense in Karen Reed? This is dated October of 2024. We're living in what the duck pond. Ipsy Dixit. Sherilyn says, nope, no chain of custody report. Nope. I don't believe so. No, they didn't. I mean, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, just guessing, just throwing out ideas. Don't you think Karen Reed's defense would be entitled to that chain of custody report for Trooper Michael Proctor's cell phone, work phone? Or is it under seal? Is it impounded? Is it one of the things that's impounded? Is it a Brady violation to not turn it over and to turn it over in Tuerk? Did they not think anybody like me was going to go over the Tuerk documents and find this buried in the 7th notice of discovery? They only have, this is only paper number 23. You know how we're up to something like 450? This is document number 23. So there's that. Chain of fools, green-eyed Southern girl. You know it. Look the other way, Clerk Jim Clown says. Shari gifted a member. Thank you, Shari D. We have a lot of Sharis in this chat. On top, thank you for your super sticker. Oh, Lady Zelda Kelly is here. And she's gifted a membership. Thank you. Thank you, Lady Zelda Kelly. Melanie Peterson, thank you for your super sticker. Shari D gifted 2 memberships. They're 2 lucky recipients. I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe they need to turn over this chain of custody report in Karen Reed. Maybe there should be a chain of custody report on, I don't know, John O'Keefe's cell phone, right? Should there be a chain of custody report on John O'Keefe's clothing? Should there be a chain of custody report on all of those 7 million pieces of taillight that just revealed themselves in the hours and days and weeks following the seizure of Karen Reed's Lexus in Dighton? Chain of custody. Who's she? Says Curious Wendy. I don't know. Even on civil laws, like chain of custody, what is this thing? Is it new? Never heard of one of those. Nope. So there's that. I thought you might find that interesting. That's a little teaser of what's to come in the Tuerk case, but it made my little spidey senses go up like, huh. Did they give Karen Reed's defense team the chain of custody report for Proctor's work phone that's 26 pages long? Because I don't remember seeing it. And I'm pretty sure we've been over every single piece of paper in the Karen Reed case together. I think all the pretrial motions, everything, every discovery exchange, all of it, all 457 or however many documents there are. It's like crazy. Thank you, Joe, coming in with the Grateful Dead quote on the Venmo. Monkey and the engineer in the jury. Baffled. Yeah, it's the monkey and the engineer. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Always love a good Grateful Dead quote, as you guys know. And thank you for your Venmo. And also, Denise, thank you for your Venmo with a heart. You guys are all so very, very kind and generous. And Debbie for thanking me. I thank you. I thank you because without you guys, I would have nobody listening to me. Even all of you hate watchers, keep hate watching. Keep clipping my content and then making derogatory videos about me and then putting it out there on the Twitterverse because you are driving traffic to my channel. Because people see your ridiculous videos and they're like, oh, I got to go find out who she is. And they do. So thank you for that. Appreciate you. 75 Marcy had them put it that no one can get in too much on all his cases. On civil law, it's Kurt's birthday today. Oh, happy birthday, Kurt. Happy birthday, Kurt. How old are you today? You can tell everyone how old you are? Happy birthday to Kurt. Happy 29th. Olivia, chain of custody magically changes every time the defense presents new evidence. That's damning for the Commonwealth. Remember when Michael Marcy gave his hostage speech, changed the chain of custody? Yeah. He did. He did. This needs to stop. This needs to stop. Michael Proctor was not at 34 Fairview on January 29th of 2022. Was nice. He was not there. This needs to stop. These are innocent witnesses. They are innocent. Everyone's giving Kurt the old happy birthday. All right, my friends, thank you so much for spending part of your afternoon with me. When I end this stream, it's going to teleport you straight over to the 3 o'clock stream. I'm going to take a little break, grab a little lunch. I suggest you all do the same, and maybe grab yourself a iced coffee or an iced tea or whatever it is that you have to drink. Hello, Kelly Reed, and thank you for joining us. Thank you all for keeping it classy today. Moderators, you rock. You are the best, really, on the YouTube, and you know it, and that's why they make it such a fun place to be and hang out for only an hour today. This is a quick one. It is not surprising, but it may be shocking to some of you who thought that Judge Cannone would never rule in Karen Reed's favor on anything. So there was no legal basis to keep her out. Dr. Russell, that is, she will be entitled to testify as an expert witness. And good luck to the Commonwealth in finding someone who's going to say that Dr. Russell is wrong and that those injuries to John O'Keefe's right arm were absolutely caused by an exploding taillight, all at the same time. Should be fun because you know what? It's always an adventure, my friends. It's always an adventure. Thank you to my viewers, my replay viewers. Please smash the like button on your way out. I promise you that Proctor will not get your DNA. And make sure you hit the bell and the subscribe button because I go live sometimes without much notice at all. Gave you guys a half an hour today. So that was a lot. Sometimes I just go on. It's breaking news like the California fires. Stay cool, stay kind, stay classy. I know you can do it. I know you can because you guys are the best. Peace. I'm going to teleport you over there right now. Safe travels, and I'll see you real soon.